I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be finding out what they are thinking and feeling. This is a great way to best understand their headspace, because this is a combination about how they are, what they are thinking and feeling about you and their own life, because the two, they're going to affect each other, and it's a best way to get the whole picture, if that makes sense. So, as you can see, we have 4 groups in front of us. I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group that you resonate with most. So I'm going to give you a moment to do so. Now that you've picked the card group that resonates with you, you can go down to the description where you can skip to your designated group and mark timestamp, but let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's find out what they are thinking and feeling by looking at the cards. Ooh, a mutable moon. This is what I would like to describe as ominous optimism. It's a really good thing. I'm excited to talk about that. Your tarot cards are 6 of Pentacles in reverse, the Star card upright, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. All right, 6 of Pentacles in reverse, loud and clear. And our last card is the Tower card in reverse. Let me pull one more card for this, just so I'm clear. Okay, the Magician card in reverse. Okay, so I can give you an answer about this, and we're going to talk about it, but I want you to understand that most of this spread is about you. Your feelings are coming in very, very, very strong, which is fine. It looks like it's more important for you to hear this comforting, reassuring message. This is all positive, by the way. I have a lot of good things to tell you, but this is like comforting you during this time and something you kind of need to hear, as well as what they are thinking and feeling. So I'm very excited to get into it. So first, let's start off with our mutable moon. Mutable moon is awesome. It deals with when the moon is in a mutable sign. I'm actually a mutable sign. And the thing with this, I find this card pops up, how do I say this? It pops up when things do not feel great at the time, but are actually going to come out more positively. So this is when you already in your head are thinking, it's over. Like your brain is already at the finish line, and yet you can't let go. You can't give away your attention. You can't stop trying to pursue it, but you're already having kind of a self-defeatist, mentality. And this card comes in as a positive, reassurance of going, whoa, 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 hold on. We're not there yet. You think we're there yet, but things can change. In fact, things will change for the better. Things have not been finalized. Like I said, very ominous, but optimistic. So this is talking about how the situation you're going through right now isn't the way you'd like it to be at the moment, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay this way forever. In fact, it's going to change for the better. So let's talk about that. Straight up, what are they thinking and feeling? They are represented here by the Star card. And the thing is, they are into you. I just want you to know they're into you. They are reciprocating your feelings. They feel that way. But they are kind of distracted. They are in a good time in their life. They are having fun with their friends and family. They are working on hobbies. But the thing is, when they don't feel like they're returning the same amount of energy, it seems like maybe they're trying to play you or they're disinterested. Not at all. It's just as simple as they respond to you, they put down their phone, they forget about it. It doesn't mean they're not interested or they care about you less. It's just they're kind of, how do I express this? When they're in this new kind of optimistic feeling in their own personal life, you're a part of it. It's a compliment, but you're one piece, a part of many other things that are great in their life. So they're kind of bouncing around. Again, it will come off as distracted. It will kind of seem like they're disinterested, but no, they really are interested in you. When they think about you, they think nice things and they're happy, but it feels very new. It's very new, sweet feeling where they are more interested in you than just simply saying that you're cute and you're just another person they're talking to, but they're also not thinking of too much into the future, if that makes sense. Like, It's so easy. I'm not saying everybody does this, but I do know, I have friends, we've all been there in our life where sometimes you meet someone and you're already thinking, oh, what if we got together? It's like they're not quite there mentally, but they're also not thinking of you as just another person they're talking to. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Now we go into you because this is important. We get Six of Pentacles here twice. And if you know me and tarot cards, if it repeats, it is very important for you to know. The Six of Pentacles in reverse is when somebody is, how do I say this? Normally it's a negative thing. Thankfully, this is not the case for you. This is when, this card usually pops up when people are giving too much of themselves to somebody else. And the other person is aware of it, they're taking advantage of it, they're using it, they're leeching it. They don't plan to return the same energy and they're getting whatever they can from you, essentially. This is not the case, I'm happy to say. But it is still a case where you're putting too much energy their way and not taking care of yourself, essentially. Now, you might get confused. Often I find this, no matter the meaning of the other way and this perspective, they have the same idea. You think you're doing it for yourself, like you're going to be happier by doing this. Like you're thinking, well, I'm giving all my energy because it's what I want. But you're not understanding that you're actually you're more feeding the idea of the connection and the love and them and giving it to them, even if they're not fully asking for it, and you're ignoring all the things you need to do to take care of yourself. It's kind of interesting you're attracted to them because it kind of is very, like you need to mirror them almost in a way because they're taking care of themselves. They have a very healthy balance between talking to you and then they're doing something else. Basically, you're being asked, like, find that medium for you too. That gets repeated again when we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is straight up somebody who is giving too much to someone else as a form of a distraction or an excuse to sacrifice their own personal needs. Often, it kind of makes me wonder, why are you doing that? That's just a question to ask yourself. Why do you want to avoid being by yourself, like not doing that? It's just a thought to think out there. Sorry, that just kind of came to mind. Anyways, so basically that gets repeated multiple times of just being like, you need to find the balance because you're kind of slowly pulling yourself out where you have nothing left to give eventually. Here's the thing though. This is where the positive news continues. When we have the Tower card in reverse, this talks about the idea of a long-standing issue coming to an end. The Tower card in reverse is a card you really want because it looks like this is something that you have a habit of doing, which is fine. I mean, you need to find them and find your habits in order to identify them and then, do something about it. That's okay. But the habit is depicted over here with the Magician card in reverse. This is somebody who is not being their whole self. Now, in many cases, this is like when someone's faking it, again, a very manipulative sort of act. Not in this case. This is when sometimes we don't know how to be ourselves, and that is not necessarily a crime. It takes a lifetime, and often by the time you figure out who you are, you evolve again, and then you got to figure out who that is. When you are giving yourself to someone else, it's like you've got that down. You know how to give, but you do it as a form of distraction to avoid really just taking some time to be like, well, who am I? What do I want to do when I'm not enjoying this sort of attention from this other person, whatever. That doesn't mean you need to stop pursuing them. Enjoy yourself. They seem like a nice person. They're interested in you back. But maybe even reach out to them I'll be honest with you, don't do it in like, hey, I'm struggling. Can you tell me how you do what you do? Kind of casually be like, well, how would you spend your day? And maybe use it as a form of inspiration. I'm not getting any cards that say straight up they're here for a life lesson, but it doesn't mean you can't get something from this. So you can both benefit from enjoying this building connection from them, but you can also simultaneously learn to emanate that inner star, that inner glow within you, that inner shine, and then they too are just a beautiful facet of your shine, not your whole ray of light where it's shooting to. Does that make sense? Either way, I'm very excited for you. It is not done. It is not over. Things are going to change. This very content, chill mood that they're in is going to change as well for the better, where they'll be a little more forward, there'll be a lot more of a conclusion of like, well, are we dating? Are we not dating? What is the situation? You know what I mean? And along the way, you're going to be overcoming something that kind of catches up with you and brings you down. And now you can finally be lifted up and shine and all that good jazz while you're simultaneously benefiting from a nice human connection. So I'm excited for you. Anyways, if you enjoyed this reading, please feel free to give it a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. Let's find out what they are thinking and feeling by looking at the cards. We have first quarter moon, upright. It's always upright. 8 of swords, upright. All right. Swords upright again. If that's not a very clear message, I don't know what is. 5 of cups in reverse. 8 of wands, upright. 6 of swords, upright. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. This is so funny. Your feelings are coming in way, 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 way stronger than theirs. I'm going to pull some more cards again to get a clearer understanding of what they actually think and feel for you. But this is like all about you. That's what happens sometimes with tarot. It's like, see, the thing with tarot is whatever you need to hear is going to come out the most dominant. So sometimes our own feelings need to be addressed more than even what we're asking. Now I'm going to pull more cards to find out, but hold on. Who is she? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Understandable. Okay. Don't worry, we're going to get into that, but it's important we talk about this right now. So, first off, you. Let's talk about your first quarter moon card popping up. You could tell by the tone of my voice, I already had a feeling this was more about you by this card alone. This is when the universe throws us some challenges, but it's not don't worry, this is not meant to freak you out. This is nothing to be scared of. This is just small. Think of this as smaller challenges. Things are a little inconvenient. It's harder to reach them, that type of thing. But the reason why these kind of discouragements or challenges pop up is because the universe is asking you to be aware of your own thoughts and how you affect the world around you. And they're basically putting you in a position where you're forced to kind of figure out what it is you believe. So if you believe that it's going to be hard or you're not good enough for that relationship, that's what you get in return. You know what I mean? No matter what you think you're, getting in response, like, so let's say like they're not contacting you enough, right? Let's say that was the situation. That would be the challenge, and it would be you're being basically asked by the universe to say, even though they're not talking to me, they're thinking about me right now. They're hoping to reach out to me more. I know I'm worthy of love. I know I'm a pretty cool person, and I attract anyone, and then once they come to me, I figure out if I want them in my life or not. You know what I mean? Like, I've got all the options. I'm a pretty cool person. That type of thing. I'm worthy of love. So this is basically why you're feeling that sort of like, what is it? I'm in my head too much. I'm not quite sure what's going on. You know what I mean? You're basically being tested as a form of building a better foundation within yourself, a better belief system. Like that was the way I put it before. That's the great way of putting it. So let's talk about that. That sort of limitation comes up twice. Twice. That's why I said the message was loud and clear. 8 of Swords upright talks distinctly about this. This is someone who thinks they're trapped, but those swords can be lifted from the ground. She tied herself up. Look at that. That's very loose. She could get out of that. But this is somebody who has probably been through it before internally for a while, so they can't help but give those swords and those bindings power. And so it's all about self-limiting beliefs. It's this card, I find, when you get this card, if you're ever like, what do I do if I get this card? if you like to read tarot for yourself or whatever. This is a card that is about understanding that you put those there and that you can change them anytime you want, that you are in control. It's an incredibly empowering card. And once you realize what those challenges or beliefs that are like, you know how we think thoughts and we're unaware of them, we don't realize we're putting ourselves down throughout the day. You know, if someone's like, well, why don't you reach out to them? And you're like, I don't know. Why? Why don't you know? Why are you already saying that you can't, or you think that they won't respond, or you don't have the power to? You're already saying that and believing that. So once you like identify what they are and realize that you're the one putting them there and you can change it, suddenly the swords go away. Suddenly you're free. Suddenly you realize you can allow and control, make your world what you want around you. And that includes in this romantic case. So, again, just be clear, any sort of challenges you're feeling feels more like the universe trying to teach you something in order to have a better love life. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, continuing with the good news. Five of Cups in reverse. It looks like you're going to be overcoming this, though, and kind of opening yourself up for love. So you are going to be overcoming this situation. It is going to get better. You are going to identify the beliefs and overcome it. Eight of Wands. It's going to be, get ready, because that was the only thing holding you back from love. Get ready for a very fast, passionate, intense romance. It's just kind of building. It's building and building and building and building and building. I will say this just came to mind, Spirit Guides were telling me this. This, I can't believe I even, thank you for reminding me. This also, while these are self-limiting beliefs due to an internal monologue, I mean, we are kind of in a situation right now. It's kind of hard to hang out with people. So think of this as your marinating time, so to speak. Because once you get an opportunity to do it, it's going to be fast, it's going to be romantic, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be a boom of energy, and you're going to be ready for it. Six of Swords just kind of keeps replicating the idea that you're going to overcome this rough time period. It's going to get better. It does talk about, I do want to point this out, something Spirit Guide's showing me. It looks like as you're overcoming your self-limiting belief system and you're gaining a sense of confidence and you're talking to this other person, it looks like they're going through something too a little bit. And you guys are going to kind of come out of it together. So like you're both going through your own thing, you're kind of chatting, bonding, you're gaining your sense of confidence, they're overcoming their own personal situation. And then once you guys are able to meet due to both outside circumstances and also in like overcoming your own personal problems, boom, explosion of romance. So I can be honest with you, I just answered my own question as I was talking about this. Yes, they're interested in you, but I already knew they were interested in you on these cards. So let's talk about what they are thinking for you. So I can tell you right now, they are into you. But again, we talk about distance. When we get an Eight of Cups situation, especially with this card acting as like, okay, so think of this card as the beginning of their own personal belief system. And it's just being planted. They're just kind of getting into you when it's getting planted, and they are intentionally trying to nurture it and hope for it to grow. They have like sort of a serious vibe about you. They're pretty into you. They're kind of distracted right now with their own stuff, but they're very seriously contemplating making you their significant other. They've already thought about it. They're already doing what they can now in order for you to become their significant other. But they're distant. Again, we talked about the obvious reasons because of the circumstance right now in the world, but this feels like they're figuring out some emotional stuff right now. They're kind of going through their own like journey of, how do I put this? I'm trying to say this without sounding, sometimes it's, you don't want to accidentally sound too like vague because you want to be specific in order to be the most helpful. This is somebody who's taking time to really evaluate what they've been through in their life, especially I'm getting like childhood vibes, and they're working it out, they're thinking about it, they're like, I don't want to be someone who's like always putting themselves, oh wow, I just realized you guys are kind of overcoming your own thing. Yours is more mental, theirs is more emotional, but Oh, interesting. Isn't that funny? Okay, I'll just say this. I hope this is a side ramble, and then I want to talk about this real quickly. When you read tarot, you will be absolutely shocked at what a metaphor life is. When you get to see the bigger picture of how people are interacting with each other and how often when they meet each other, they are helping each other at the right time. They're often mirror images of each other. The world feels like one big universal metaphor, allegory. It's when you start to see the bigger picture, it feels very hopeful and happy and beautiful, and makes even the smallest human interactions very significant and special. So I hope you get to enjoy that feeling too, because it feels really fun and awesome and makes you feel happy and hopeful. So I love that. So anyways, the circumstance they're going through is, yeah, it's just, I'll be honest with you, when we have a Three of Pentacles situation, this is usually a work situation, but I'm getting way stronger family vibes. This is a general reading, so this can just refer to like a nasty boss, but I'm getting a weird, strong, like mother vibe, if I'm being honest. And she's particularly nasty with how she puts them down. Very like saying things that might be true to a certain degree, but using it as a weapon to hurt them. And honestly, it looks like they are spending some time with their, this would be like their siblings, and they're bonding over how they are picked on more by their mother than other people. And it feels like over here with, like, even though they feel bonded with their siblings, they're still spending plenty of time by themselves, like not feeling like an outsider from their siblings. Like they appreciate the support, but they're like, I'm still working out my own thing personally and trying not to unload it on others, which is important to know because this person it is taking you so seriously. And when you guys get together, it's going to be fast, it's going to be hot, it's going to be romantic and all that jazz. Definitely understand you have a wonderful partner who understands it's better to not burden other people with, like, they don't take their stuff out on others. Even if that happened to them in their own lifetime, they are not perpetuating the cycle. They seem pretty, this is like, I'm sorry, I'm like really channeling spirit right now, so I'm like really getting a lot of information. This is when, how do I express this? They are somebody who they're not described as a quiet person, but they don't fully express how deep they are emotionally. They are extremely deep. They are not very vibrant with how they say they get it. They'll be like, oh yeah, I get it. But they really get it. They are pretty emotionally mature, and they're going through something. And I'll be honest with you, I'm getting a very, very high level of emotional maturity and spiritual energy in this lifetime. Like they're shortening the cycles of, man, I'm getting so much information. They're shortening the cycles of reincarnation, if I'm being honest with you. They don't know it. They're not really on that journey, like consciously. Like, some people are like, I'm into this stuff actively. They aren't, but they are still nonetheless doing it and making really smart moves in their life, and I'm very happy for them. So that's like a side note. Anyways, I'm excited for you. You're going to be overcoming some stuff. Believe in yourself. You're worthy of it. Actively make sure you're aware of your thoughts. If you think a negative thought about yourself or something that's going to hold you back, think the opposite. Practice it. It's a habit that gets built with time. Be patient with yourself. Be loving with yourself. They do love you. Well, I don't know if I can, I don't want to like speak too, did I whip that out too soon? They're very, very, very into you. Anyways, if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's find out what they think and feel by looking at the cards. We have Balsamic Moon, 7 of Cups in reverse, Knight of Swords in reverse, the Fool in reverse, Death card upright, and Knight of Wands in reverse. I was waiting for this card. I had a feeling. Man, I cannot tell you how many, like when a Knight of Wands shows up, I already know what the situation is, especially when we have this card. But I still need to just be patient with me for 1 second. I need clarity on these. So we've got 5 of Swords upright, and Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, loud and clear. Let's get into this. So I am going to be talking about what they think and feel, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know why this just keeps happening, but your emotions are coming in way, 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 way stronger than theirs. Does that make sense? So it's more important for you right now to hear what you need to hear because your journey is way more important than what they're thinking and feeling. It's like we need to talk about how you're being treated more so than whatever they're going through. Like your situation needs to be known and given more attention than what could possibly happen here, if that makes sense. We are going to be going over it and we are going to be talking about it, and I'm going to pull some more cards because I just to see if we can get a little more detailed about it, but let's talk about you right now. So over here, we have this card. I'll be honest with you, this is like an ex situation, for sure, especially when we have this card. This is the type of card that asks you to understand that when that like now is a time to heal both yourself and the situation. It doesn't mean you're going back to them. In fact, it actually means the opposite. This is like a premonition-y sort of moon that basically says, or cards rather, that basically says, you're leaving the past in the past. It's done. It's time to successfully move on by treating what needs to be treated now. It carries the philosophy that if you heal yourself, you'll heal everything else, if that makes sense. But it is a card that asks you to find healing by understanding your circumstance. So that feels like why, if you're wondering why you're talking to them, why there's this sort of interaction, you're getting reacquainted with how you were treated. How did you feel? Asking yourself, do you like that? Did you not like that? Did that make you angry? Did that make you happy? Because the more you have clarity in the circumstance, the easier it is to figure out, well, how do you want to react? What do you need healed? And you didn't like that you didn't react in the moment, so on and so forth kind of vibe. So this already tells me this was not like a happy sort of ex type of situation. You know what I mean? And then that idea kind of continues over here. So we have the Seven of Cups in reverse, and it looks like you kind of, I was kind of wondering if, I wanted to better understand if you were seeing other people around this time period. This is a general reading, and normally I can be much more specific, but it didn't feel exactly like, it just felt like you had a lot of options in general. It didn't have to be other romantic partners. It felt like there was a lot of options in life, but you were actively like, I'm going to choose to give attention to this other person, if that makes sense. And I was pulling more cards to be like, oh, was there other people? And well, let's just say it didn't want to talk about that. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. So we have Knight of Swords, same, very focused, very like pursuing. So it feels like you're really giving it your all. You're really giving it your attention. You're giving it a lot of your focus right now. Just a lot of that energy. You pushed other things aside in order to give this time and focus. But here's the thing. We have the Fool card in reverse. This is a card that unfortunately makes you aware that there were mistakes made the first time. You know, you got burnt once is the best way to put it. And this is the card that says you're going to get burnt again. You're actively walking into a gamble that you know is risky and that you know you're going to get hurt in, and you're still doing it. And you need to stop. Especially, oh my goodness, the universe steps in and it was like, you're going to stop when we have the Death card and the Five of Swords cards here. So the Death card is, of course, all about this huge positive rebirth and change. It is astronomically positive. I know these are kind of like serious dark subjects we're talking about, but it's something you've needed for a really long time. This act of healing from this particular person is going to be a huge life-changing thing for you. They really held you back for a long time, and it's just not going to be the case anymore. I can see that this rebirth, though, just to be clear, when we go through this sort of huge evolutionary change, it is not an easy one. It is often painful, confusing, and already difficult as is. But it feels like your evolution is more difficult because when we have the Five of Swords. Now, this can deal with outer conflict, like you fighting with this other person, feeling mad at them, but this is just the general idea of obstacles, mental obstacles, being in our way because, maybe we're dealing with like an internal monologue where we're like beating ourselves up or going back and forth and conflicted. Either way, it is messy, aggressive, unhelpful, whether it's coming from within yourself or from this other person. And it's kind of already interrupting something that's like, the best way to put it? In the death card, how they like to use the term like you shed your skin? Well, imagine if you did shed your skin and if that was a painful process. It's already difficult. Imagine if during the time period you're shedding the skin and it's going to be better at the end of it, somebody kept coming over and like gluing the skin back on and then cutting it up and then making you doubt you even know how to do what you're doing. It's very much that vibe. So that's a huge reason why it feels positive, I will say this, that we have this card over here. And we're going to get to that in one second, but I want to talk about this. So I wanted to know what's going on over here. Like, what are those other options? The main thing it just keeps repeating is it wants you to be aware of your mindset. So when we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is somebody who is giving sacrificing more of their generosity and attention for others as an excuse to avoid taking care of themselves. And when we have Eight of Cups in reverse, this is somebody who keeps trying to actively evolve, trying to actively change and grow. It's got a lot of good intentions behind it, but they just don't seem to go anywhere. It's like you're always evolving, but you're never actually evolving, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of confusion around this person. You're kind of avoiding this. It's like there's stagnation. It's not been fun for you to go through that stagnation. So you're focusing on this other person and the confusing feelings they entice you to be a part of as a way of avoiding this own confusing feeling you're dealing with. It's easier to focus on this familiar feeling, even though you know it's risky, than dealing with your own stuff. But it's not helpful. You need to heal. You are destined to change and grow from this situation. It's not fun that they've been making your life harder and more confusing, but you're going to grow, you're going to overcome this, and it's going to be a complete 180 of feelings. You're going to feel better, you're going to be healed, you're going to be a totally new person. Do not be surprised if you get a whole new personality after this and you suddenly take positive risks, like, when people have never like dyed their hair or something like that, positive risks in order to feel like a new you. You know what I mean? Like you're finally exploring yourself in a way you've never done before. It's going to be really great. This is the last kind of like hurdle over in your life. So this is why I'm going to pull some more cards. When we have a Knight of Wands situation, this is them. This is somebody who unfortunately leaves a lot of broken hearts in their wake. They're pretty charismatic. I'm getting less of a charismatic vibe, to be honest with you, from your person. There's just we can just agree on this. There's a very strong magnetism about them that you just don't know why, you just keep going back to. And they have a short attention span, which means, and I don't mean like as an ADD, I mean they can have ADD, but we're talking about they have a tendency to bounce around romantically because like when they are done with you and you're not entertaining enough, you're not the right person they need you to be, they're just going to move on quickly. It's not solely based on you. It's a little bit based on you, unfortunately. That isn't something you take personally. That's their own perspective, their own outlook. You get what I'm saying? But they are somebody that pulls you in so hard and dumps you even harder. It's intense. It's overwhelming. And it makes you really confused because when someone has that effect, such strong magnetic effect on you, it can get really confusing for love. It doesn't mean you didn't love them, and it doesn't mean they didn't love you back, but it can get confusing where people think these type of people are their soulmates. They think, wait, are they the one? Should I try to make it work? No, they just have a really powerful effect on you. So let me see if I can pull more cards to better understand their mindset and all that jazz. Because I can tell you right now, they're 1 foot already out the door, unfortunately. Actually, I don't say that unfortunately because it seems like it's something you really need in your life and it's a positive thing and you're not going to be moving in that direction in a good way. But they seem distracted, uninterested. They're not really focused on you that much. They're kind of caught up in their own thing. There's something out over here that's getting more of their attention than you. That could be another person. That could just be another situation. There's just like a flakiness vibe around them. So it's not the most wholesome, warm feeling, basically. So let's see. Yeah, they're on their own stuff. Wow, the cards just do not want to talk about anything else. I'll be honest with you, your feelings still keep coming in strong. The closest I'm getting from them is they're just like really in love with themselves right now. That's really honestly where all their attention is. But this sort of way, this feeling they've left you with, while simultaneously being really into themselves and therefore kind of like pulling you into their orbit even more, the more they're drawn into themselves, has really like stopped and halted your life quite a lot and caused you an enormous amount of heartbreak and pain. And that just keeps coming through. So understand that that feeling of like stagnation, that lack of flow is because of them. And that's going to be changing. And I'm really happy and positive for you. But be aware, are you risking your happiness and safety right now? Do you need to put your focus there, or do you need to take a hard look at pay attention of the things that you've been avoiding? Don't give yourself to others in this kind of way and deplete all your resources. It's okay that you've been lost for a little while. Things are changing. They're going to be a little uncomfortable, but it's going to get a lot better. You're going to be healed. You're going to be stripped away of this. This is going to be a thing of the past, something you don't even remember and will seem like a faint memory for a long time from now. So I'm excited for you to put this chapter behind you, and I'm excited for you to feel better. I'm sorry that you're not feeling good now. I am wishing you the best. And if you do enjoy this video, please consider giving it a like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Sincerely, I hope you're feeling better, or you find the ability to feel better. Please, for me, this is like a personal thing. This is like besides the cards. Go watch your favorite childhood show today. Go cry and watch something that made you really happy. I'm just saying that. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm just starting to get emotional. I'm getting caught up now. I gotta get grounded again. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next one, and let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's find out what are they thinking and feeling by looking at the cards. We have full moon in Aries. It's Aries season right now. Congratulations, Aries. Aries can be difficult for Cancers, Libras, and Capricorns during this time period. Nothing to freak out about. Your life is not over if you were one of these signs. Just something to contemplate if you're having a little bit of rough time for a moment. Look at tarot cards. Ace of Pentacles upright. 6 of Cups upright. I am getting such a strong sweetness vibe. This is a super sweet connection. I love this. The High Priestess in reverse, 6 of Pentacles upright, and the Lovers upright. These two cards are kind of throwing me off. Interesting. Let me pull another card for that. All right, that threw me off more. Don't freak out about this. This is just something, okay, so we're going to talk about some nice good things. There's a lot of great vibes here about how they feel about you and the general, like what they want out of life. It's very sweet. However, this is something to consider in order to prevent what's going on in the Ten of Swords, but it's nothing bad and it's preventable and it's just a mindset, but it kind of throws me off compared to everything else. But let's get into all the positive stuff. This is, again, nothing to fear. Good stuff over here. So first off, we have, well, I'll tell you right now, this is someone, when we have the 6 of Cups over here and the 6 of Pentacles, this is somebody this is a general reading, so this is either somebody that is a karmic bond, which is really sweet, or it is somebody from your past that is like a friend, but you didn't get a chance to explore those romantic feelings, and now that you are, given a second opportunity to, and it's the definite confirmation of like, oh yeah, this is going to become something in the long run, like this is becoming something. But the karmic bond is something interesting I want to talk about. The vibe still relates to if it's the other one, but we're going to talk about this. So the karmic bond is talking about the idea of a second chance, and when we have the 6 of Cups, this is a really, really really sweet energy. Think of like your first love kind of energy. So it's less romantic. It doesn't mean there isn't still romance there. It's just more of a focus on the like innocence of hanging out, going for a walk. What's your favorite TV show? What do you think about this? This is what I wanted to be when I grow up. Kind of, cuteness I think most of us wish to return to at any point in our life, and we can. This is just a reminder that you can at any point in your life, but that's what it feels like from this relationship. Again, it is romantic, but this is where they want to put their attention. Again, because we have the Six of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, they are, first of all, they are really looking for something that can be sturdy, something trustworthy. They're looking for longevity with you, but they're at a point in their life where they're rebuilding their sort of belief system. They're finding their footing again, is the best way I can put it. It's like, it's a different feeling than like they were lost and now they're healing. It's more they're like, I feel I got a little distracted along the way living life. I kind of want to refigure out what makes me happy, and I want to share that with you. So it's a really sweet feeling of, it feels more about them, but they for sure want to experience that with you. Now, when I talk about second chances, it feels like in the past, like you're in your past life when we talk about that, when you guys were together, something happened where there was some sort of drama or being pulled apart by universal forces or whatever, that now that you guys are finally together, there's this feeling of like, let's just decompress and enjoy this, what can feel like an infinite moment. Let's not think about where it's going to go. Let's not think about, this is not what they're thinking. It's more of the vibe of like, let's just be here. When I say let's not think about where this will go, they are thinking about where it will go. They are hoping for something long-term with you, but they don't want to be there in the mindset of already pre-planning, your wedding and stuff like that kind of vibe. They want to just have fun, reconnect to their inner child. It's a very, very sweet, innocent feeling. Again, we have the Lovers, again, positive confirmation of like, oh yeah, they want to be with you in that kind of way. There's something special, and I'm just realizing, I just realized we have the right combination. I can definitely say for absolutely certain this is a soulmate connection. Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Sorry, I'm having a moment because if you watch my tarot readings often, I will always point out if I see something that's soulmatey, but there has to be certain combinations of cards and very definite feelings for me to be like, yes, absolute for certain. I can be like, yeah, I'm getting that vibe, but if the cards want to be like, oh, by the way, yeah, they're soulmates, and then talk about something else, unless I have enough cards, I can't be like, yes, 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 yes. And this is one of those yes, 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 yes type of situations, so I'm very excited for you guys. But don't be surprised when we have the Six of Pentacles. This is somebody who is also interested in the act of giving in order to become a better partner. And this means giving to other people as well. This does not mean they're going to be romantic with other people, but just don't be surprised if they're also giving their attention simultaneously to other people. It's a good thing for you because they're trying to understand the world better again from a more, like, it's like they restarted themselves as a human and they want to enjoy this sort of, relaxed, as if they haven't seen the world already type of vibe, and then practice it in the world and exercise it to kind of cement their beliefs, their new belief system they're building in order to then be that much better to you. And I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a very sweet love. This is going to be, they're going to come to you with a lot of, how do I put this? The words are escaping me. Genuineness, authenticity, just being straightforward, but it's a very calm energy. And I think that you guys are quite a great match. But the two things that throw me off, I just wanted to share, are the High Priestess. The High Priestess in this case is talking about the idea of you, the universe is like really wanting you to focus on how things are said in this relationship. Like that's something they're very much paying attention to, rather than what they're saying. It feels like there's something that they're not fully expressing, but they're unintentionally expressing it by the tone in their voice. It doesn't feel bad, like we talked about all the good things about how they feel about you, what they want right now. It's very nice. But this, especially when we talk about somebody wanting to reset their belief systems, which I don't come across very often, which is interesting, this definitely feels to me like they've been hurt before and they're not going to come out and say it and it doesn't define them, but you'll pick up on the signs. It will help the relationship feel smoother, because something to consider, when we are in this sort of innocent mindset, once we learn something, that's when we become jaded as people. That's when we become harder or more hurt. They're figuring out a way to get back to this vibe. And so by understanding when you need to tiptoe around something or the right way to react, which you'll know, you'll hear their tone, will continue this vibe. So that makes sense to me. It's an interesting bit of advice to keep in mind in order to keep the sort of rosy glasses on the circumstance, because this needs to be fostered for both of you and enjoyed. But over here, Aries is kind of an interesting, this is a bit of a selfish moon. I'm not calling Aries selfish. I'm just saying that this is what the Oracle card means. It talks about the idea of being aware in a circumstance if you're making it all about yourself, and can you handle the circumstance more sensitively. So that kind of threw me off, because that is not the vibe I'm getting here, but that's the card I got. And it full on says that if you or the other person comes into this mindset, it can be a really messy bad ending, because you guys are coming from such like when you are this raw and this vulnerable, it can be a 0 to 60 sort of hurt circumstance very badly if things aren't handled sensitively. So it's like, be aware of their tone, know how to navigate the situation, and be aware of this. I don't know why this is popping up. To me, this feels like, if I'm being honest with you, a wild card. It doesn't connect with you now, but it will happen randomly, and when it does, you can just catch yourself, or they'll catch themselves and stop it from being a thing. It doesn't mean an impending fight. It just means all of a sudden being really frustrated and being like, I want it to be about me. If you sense they're doing that for a second, warn them. Say, listen, I know you want to express your idea. I know you're feeling frustrated because you want to go back to this vibe. Stop. Think how you speak. Let's handle this in a gentler way. So something to contemplate. But otherwise, I'm very happy and positive. Very unusual. It feels like you're kind of going on a vacation from all of this shenanigans going on right now while you're in love. So I'm very excited for you. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving the video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. I'm wishing the best